Hello, it is Wednesday, May 3rd, 2023. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It is a Wednesday crossword today, which means a mid-week, mid-difficulty puzzle. And this midweek, mid-difficulty crossword has been brought to, or edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Bradley Pirtle, Alex, and as always, the invaluable Timothy Mark and the indomitable Schulmaster, but also by a new benefactor, Emma Smith. So welcome, Emma Smith, and thank you so much for joining the ranks of Patreon benefactors. You are directly sustaining this channel, and I really do appreciate that. So thank you so much, and welcome. So thank you to the 5 of them, all benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for their generous support. And in return for that generous support, they will get, or in most cases have already received, the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses mug. So Emma can look forward to that as well. And if you would like to become a patron yourself and get access to all of the bonus videos that have gone up on the channel to date, as well as the new ones that go up each week, you can find that at patreon.com/dailysolve or via the link in the description field underneath the video. So again, thank you to all of my patrons at any level. Very much appreciate that. And what else? Do subscribe to the YouTube channel if you've not gotten around to that. Thank you to everybody who's done that as well. It's a big help in terms of spreading the this channel on YouTube. And you can join the Daily Solve Discord chat server. There's a link in the description field to that as well. Nice friendly chat community there. All right, so let's get on to today's crossword. This is a construction by Samuel A. Donaldson. He's constructed a few dozen puzzles for the New York Times, and it was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. And there will be some sort of theme. So let's find out what is in store for us there. Let's start solving. Beer pong needs cups. Beer pong involves sort of red solo cups, I think, most classically. Let's see. Intimidate. Does that work? Yes. You could cow somebody. You could intimidate them. And not this again. I would think it would be uh-oh or something like that, but that doesn't quite fit. It could be thematic, or I could have something wrong. Some occupations, question mark, occupations. The question mark indicates some sort of punnery or wordplay, so I'm wondering if occupations maybe means, I don't know, a military occupation or something like that. That's not the most obvious reading. Not sure. Dry as vino. Sec means dry with respect to wine. Secco, I suppose. Well, it means dry also, just as a sort of linguistic root as well. Let's see. Barnyard male could be a sow. No, couldn't be a sow. Could be a... Why can I not think what this is? What are male barnyard animals? I can't think. All the ones I'm thinking of are female. I don't know why that fit here anyway. And I obviously am missing something. A mythological meanie could be an ogre, though. That's a common New York Times. Oh, not this again is ugh. Okay, it was just a straightforward thing, and I didn't think of it. Sorry. Vicious pet handler's query. Now, this will be thematic, I think. It's safe to say. These long answers. This sounds like something sort of punny, and actually we have a few grid-spanning answers. Yes, and they each have the question mark pun. All right, and here's our revealer. And you know what? Since I'm here, let's read it. Why not? Britney Spears classic, or a confession applicable to 3 answers in this puzzle. Britney Spears classic. Oops, I did it again. That would be sort of a confession in a way. Yes, that does fit. Okay. So what does that mean? A confession applicable to 3 answers in this puzzle. Well, it will be this, this, and this. So vicious pet handler's query. I mean, a query probably starts with which, with these letters here. I don't know, though. Some occupations. Bestie in Bolivia. Maybe this isn't which, because I want this to be amigo for friend, or it could be amiga. Maybe I won't put that there until I get some crosses. Oh, a tom, a turkey, a male. There we go, tom. Okay, barnyard male. There we have it. Okay, so some occupations. So what is this? Oh, who. It could start with who, of course. So some occupations are, protests, like a sort of Occupy Wall Street, Occupy in that sense. There we go. Okay. Vicious pet handlers query. Who, oops, I did it again. I'm not sure. Who killed the cat or something? I don't know. Pamphlet or palm leaf in a pinch? Pamphlet or palm leaf in a pinch? A pad of paper? I don't really know what this is. Part of a Halloween costume, maybe a sheet, maybe, as in a ghost costume. I'm just going to try this. 100 Years, 100 Movies organization. Okay, it's not this, because I think that's AFI. The American Film Institute, I believe, does those various lists of 100 years, 100 different genres of film and things like that. Okay. Underway to Sherlock Holmes. The game is afoot. The game is underway, says, well, afoot, says Sherlock Holmes. Okay. Composer's mark could be a note. So a composer of music could notate notes on a musical score or staff. Lose one's shirt, say, is to go broke or to go bust, maybe. Say, I don't know, you're gambling or something and you go bust. You lose your shirt. Part of a Halloween costume, maybe fangs for a sort of Dracula costume. Adds to the mix. Stirs in, maybe. Oops. Although this looks odd. Oh, no, it doesn't. Georgia for most of the 20th century in brief. So Georgia, the country, not the U.S. state, was an SSR, Soviet Socialist Republic, for most of the 20th century as part of the USSR. So there we go. And dessert that sounds like like a cause for a lawsuit would be a tort, which sounds like tort without an E, which refers to sort of legal, wrongdoing, cause for legal action. Okay, so Western Bloc with a single currency would be the Eurozone, which are the countries of the European Union that use the euro currency. So who can it? So pamphlet or palm leaf? Oh, right. In a pinch, you could use as a fan. If it's cool, if it's hot out and you need to cool down, you could use, something you're holding like a pamphlet, or I guess a palm leaf. Okay, so a palm leaf in a pinch. If you just happen to have a palm leaf handy, in a pinch, you could use it as a fan. I'm struggling to imagine why you would be in possession of a palm leaf, except expressly to be used as a fan. What's the circumstance in which you have a palm leaf for some other completely unrelated purpose? You didn't know it was going to be hot. Now it's hot, and you say, well, in a pinch, I can use this palm leaf, which I possess, obviously, as one does. In a pinch, I could use that as a fan. I don't know. I don't know what situation is being described here, but I suppose if you found yourself in such a situation, I'll get 4 comments tomorrow from people explaining why it's incredibly obvious why you'd have a palm leaf to hand. Anyway, declares informally, says something maybe. And who can it, why did I say stores in? Stirs in, there we go. Who can it bite now? Vicious pet handlers query. Oh, is this because the person sort of murdered the animal or something and is saying, who can it bite now? Is that why they're vicious? Oops, I did it again. I don't quite understand how the oops, I did it again connects. We'll keep solving. Skywalker mentor. Luke Skywalker was mentored by Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars. So there we go. Attach as a patch is sew on or iron on. You could have an iron on patch on your clothing. Common topping for steak tartare is a raw egg. I think more accurately a raw egg yolk. I don't think you'd put an entire raw egg on steak tartare. At least I've never seen that. That would be, sounds sort of unappealing to me. Raw egg yolk in there, or egg whites in there. French wine cocktail is a cure. There we go, that's correct. And medical fluids are sera, plural of serum. Western Bloc with a single currency, right, we saw that. Cranberry harvest site, bog. Yes, you have a cranberry bog is where they're grown and harvested. And an observation when the collection plate is overflowing. Well, the collection plate would be in, I would think, a church or other religious setting. And so tithing looks like the likely answer there, donating part of your income to the church. So what is an observation in this context? I wonder if it's who can it be now? So who can it? So we're turning the. Oops, I did it again. Oops, I don't know. I can't quite see. It feels like there's something turning E into I, maybe. Who can it? Or E into. Oh, oops, I did it again. Yes, yes, there it is. We're taking the it from this phrase and we're doing it again. We're inserting, oops, I put the it in there again. We're taking who can it be now? We're sort of reduplicating the it from who can it be now, and we're putting it into the phrase again and creating who can it bite now. There we go. Okay, finally. Took me long enough, but I figured it out. So this doesn't change from from an E sound to an I sound, but rather from thing to tithing. So the thing gets an IT inserted into it. Okay. So anyway, observation when the collection plate is overflowing. But I don't quite see it just yet. Sorry. Unwelcoming. Ill, as in an ill wind, an unwelcoming wind. Maybe not. Maybe icy. You have an icy demeanor, an unwelcoming demeanor. That sounds better. Comic Con is a big convention in San Diego, California. And Skywalker Mentor. Oh, that's funny that we have two of these. So we had Kenobi and Yoda, another sort of Jedi trainer of Luke Skywalker. In this case, The Empire Strikes Back. So observation when the collection plate is overflowing. It's a good tithing, right? From it's a good thing. And the it from the beginning of the phrase in this case is being inserted into thing. All right. Full frontal host Samantha. Samantha Bee is a comedian. So there we go. Who hosts that show? And Peloton equipment. Peloton is one of those exercise, sort of online connected exercise bikes. So there we go. Abbreviation at the end of a series could be et al., which is used to indicate, and the rest of the series without listing them all by name. Himalayan capital, as it is sometimes spelled. Well, Kathmandu could be, I suppose it's usually spelled with an H here, but we don't have room for that. So this is presumably a variant spelling that is acceptable. All right. Floor is to floor somebody, to amaze them. There we go. And Frozen Queen is Elsa. The Obama Health Law for short is the Affordable Care Act. Why did I spell Yodi? Why do I keep doing this today? Keep just typing strange things into the grid. Anyway, Obama Healthcare Law for short, the Affordable Care Act, the ACA, often referred to as Obamacare. And then bygone Venetian coin could be a ducat, maybe. That's a sort of name for an old coin, so maybe that was a Venetian coin in particular. Are not retort. Am so. This is one of those funny categories of clue that has quite a few different configurations because there's sort of are not, am so, are so, is not, all of these different ways you can sort of combine pronouns and different conjugations of the verb to be. But anyway, in this case, it is am so. Alternative to United or Delta is American Airlines. Those are the sort of three traditional mainline carriers in the United States. Air carriers. Newbie newt could be an eft. That's a young newt. And popular Spanish wine, Rioja? Is that right? I think that's right. Let's look at this. Language in which Nebraska means flat river. Oto seems plausible. That would be, that's a language and tribe, so that seems entirely likely. And so much for my theory that the universe has no end. Something infinite here. It's finite, taken from it's fine, with the IT going into fine. I guess it's fine. I guess it's finite. Yeah, okay, I guess it's fine. It's a bit of, it's not the strongest phrase, I guess it's fine. But it's a thing that people might say. It's fair enough. Stubborn Seuss character with the The Dr. Seuss character with the I don't know, I can't think. There's the Lorax. I can't think of a 3-letter with Z. Maybe I don't know, maybe I'll recognize it. Me too, stiffly. Me too. As do I. Oh, that's funny. This as do I is kind of another one of these similar to am so. It's sort of the kind of thing you can construct in a few different ways depending on who's speaking and whether they are the thing or are not. Tic-tac-toe marks are I don't know. I just don't see either of those. That's a shame. What about this? Invitation to a hitchhiker. You could say hop in. And fresh start could be neo, so that's a prefix to a word referring to something new. Dog blank, potential location for a Pawmates meetup. Dog park, I guess. Why is Pawmates in capital letters? Is that some kind of app or something where you can meet other dog owners? I've never heard of it, but it sounds like that's possibly what it is, and maybe you would meet at a dog park as the result of that. A match. Figure of interest could be a rate, as in an interest rate. Yes, okay, there we go. So a figure meaning a number, a bit of data. There we go. If you had no doubt, you knew something, and summer coat is dew. You can have a coat of dew on the grass, say. Treatment for some genes could be acid wash. You always hear about acid wash genes. Well, I don't know about always, but you sometimes hear about acid wash genes. Target of an uppercut punch could be the jaw. And vegan substitute for gelatin could be agar. So agar, also known as agar. And requests, asks for the verb. Just checking the time. I don't think I'll have time for the extra clues on today's puzzle. Mike's partner in candy. Mike and Ike is a candy. I don't know that I've ever eaten Mike and Ike's, but they pop up I always associate them with film theaters in the U.S., but I'm sure you can buy them elsewhere. Seahorn of Better Call Saul. Looks like Rhea, probably. I've seen every episode of that show, and I don't remember who this is. Is it Kim, maybe? I'm not sure. DC Group engaged in Redacted, probably the National Security Agency or National Security Council. Given this cross here, I suspect it's A for Rhea, which is a name. Okay. General associated with Chinese food, General Tso, and to look after is to see to something or somebody. The Addams Family cousin is cousin it. Cuts out is, I don't know if it means cuts out as in omits or cuts out as in physically slices something away. Edits, maybe. Garfield's pal in the funnies. Odie is the dog in Garfield, right? So there we go. Seize hastily is to grab onto, maybe? Yes. Certain umami source for short. Oh, maybe not. Maybe glom onto? Seize? Is glomming seizing? I don't really think of it in that way, but I guess in the sense of seizing onto an idea. I don't know. Anyway, certain umami source for short is MSG, which is, I looked at that and that's why I started thinking about glom. For monosodium glutamate, which, from what I gather of, is not harmful in the way that I think people of my age when we were growing up were constantly told MSG was bad for you. Doesn't seem that it actually is, according to actual serious research. Pre-calc course is trigonometry. Sweet spot is, well, not bad for you in the way that in moderation things are bad, but it doesn't in itself cause sort of specific major problems, headaches and things that people attributed to it. Outside of maybe a very small percentage of people who happen to have specific allergies or responses. Sweet spot could be, sweet spot, I don't know. Oh, utopia, as in sweet, as in good. It's a very sweet spot, an Eden, a utopia. Nickname that might drop, Han. Oh, Nathan. You could become Nat as a nickname for Nathan. There we go. Drops the HAN. In abundance is galore. We have crossword answers galore, in abundance. And the Kraken on scoreboards. Oh, I know this, believe it or not, because I lived in Seattle fairly briefly, just for a couple of years, but I do know that they have a Major League Soccer team. I think Oh, it'd be incredibly embarrassing if I just said I know this and then I get the sport wrong. But I believe it is MLS, Major League Soccer, and it's the Kraken and it's the Seattle team. Okay, metal bars are ingots, as in gold ingots or something, iron ingots. C's hastily glom. It was glom onto. And tic-tac-toe marks are. Why do I not see what this is? Eventually is in time. Oh, edits is incorrect. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's funny. Cuts out. I think I specifically used the word omit when I was talking about this, and then I didn't think to put it in. Anyway, cuts out, omits. There we go. Eventually is in time, and sex columnist Savage, Dan Savage. Is he still around? I remember Dan Savage from when I was growing up. And then tic-tac-toe marks, X's and O's. There we go. All right, it's not a word. No wonder it looked strange to me. And then stubborn Seuss character with the Zax. I don't think I know the Zax. That's funny. I would have assumed I just would have known through either having encountered it myself or through cultural osmosis any Dr. Seuss character who would have been clued, but perhaps not. I'll have to look up the Zax after this. In any case, let's check this. There we go. That was the Wednesday crossword. All right. So our theme around the Britney Spears classic, Oops, I Did It Again. And we have it having been done again 3 times throughout the grid when Who Can It Be Now has an it doubled to become Who Can It Bite Now. It's a very dark image being created by this clue. We had It's a Good Thing having the it transform it into It's a Good Tithing. And finally we had I Guess It's Fine. Which is my interpretation, which is my sort of reaction to this clue. I guess it's fine. I guess it's fine. It's sort of not the most interesting phrase, but it turns into I guess it's finite. And I guess it's fine in the sense that it probably was not incredibly easy to find parsable English phrases that have an it in them that with the addition of exactly one extra it can become another useful phrase. So it's fair enough. And in each case, actually, the sort of added it comes after the original it. In other words, we weren't inserting the extra it before this one into the who can part. In each case, it came after. Is that true? Yes, that is true. And which works because of the theme clue. Oops, I did it again. We're putting the it in there again as opposed to beforehand. It's just a little bit tighter. It's nice. So anyway, and they're all identical lengths. So it's actually quite impressive. So I shouldn't have been poo-pooing the I guess it's fine clue because this is an impressive enough accomplishment. Anyway, there we go. That was our Wednesday crossword, our midweek mid-difficulty puzzle. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll be back tomorrow, of course, for the Thursday puzzle when the theme often gets a little bit stranger. So do join me for that. But until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Wednesday. Take care.